Good evening. My name is Elacia, and today I am going live to share my story with you of how I went from a stay at home mom to becoming a virtual assistant. And the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is because I've been working from home since 2015. And I think it's important to give some context to how I was able to work from home for over a decade now, and I can't believe how fast the time has gone. And starting out in this journey, it was something that kind of came together because I was working a job. I was working a lot of hours in a job. I had a 2-year-old son, and I was pregnant with my second child, which was my daughter. While I was working, the amount of stress that I was enduring, and also the bills that we were paying for childcare, and just like not really get to see each other as a husband and wife, it was really taking a toll on our family. So in October of 2015, I decided that I was going to leave the job that I was working. I was working at a staffing agency, and I decided that I was going to stay home so I can be a stay at home mom. That was the initial plan. But I also knew that just my personality, that I couldn't just do that for a long time. I knew that with us having another child on the way and there being four of us, that we were going to need that additional income. And I didn't want to lose my skill sets by becoming a stay at home mom because I knew eventually I would want to come back into the workplace. So I decided that I'm going to start researching ways that I can make money from home. One of the things that I ended up coming across that seemed to make the most sense was becoming a virtual assistant. Now, this was again back in 2015. This wasn't a really popular term then, but what was going on at that time is a lot of people were becoming more online entrepreneurs. So, with more people coming online and becoming entrepreneurs, that left room for them needing people to assist them and to support them in their growth. And so the term virtual assistant came about, and people started looking for people to support them. And I thought that was a really cool way for me to get started in that realm. So, what I ended up doing is taking the skill that I already had because I didn't know how else to start, but with what I already knew. And again, virtual assisting was something that was really new then. And my skill then was recruiting because I had just left a staffing agency. I knew how to write, and I knew a little bit about uploading information onto podcasts. And this is when podcasts were becoming fairly popular, or at least they were just starting. And this isn't the YouTube podcast that you see now. These are the type of podcasts that you were just actually just listening to. I see some people are coming in. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'd love to know who you all are coming from or who all you guys are from. I'm in Georgia. I'm telling you my virtual assistant story, how I went from a work from home mom to becoming a virtual assistant. And I have since gone from being a virtual assistant to working from home for the last 10 years. So this is for you if you are people who are interested in learning more about how you can start working from home, not doing the traditional remote work. All right, so let's go back then to where I started using the skills I already had. Recruiting, I knew how to write, and I knew how to upload on podcasts. But the thing was, how was I going to start finding clients? Back then, Facebook was really, really big. And what I did was I started going on to different Facebook groups. I think a lot of people still do this right now, where you go into Facebook groups for people that could potentially use your services or have similar interests as you. You would go on there and you would talk about the way that you can support people, or you would let people know that you're providing a service or how you can help them. So from there, that's when I started actually getting clients. And I think the key thing for me then was that I was actually speaking up and letting people know over and over again about what it is that I do and the types of services that I provide. In addition to doing Facebook, I also would go to networking events, especially mom networking events, because again, I was a mom with a 2-year-old and I was pregnant with my second child. And with those mom networking events, people are more, or the moms are more open to your situation because they're moms too. So I could even bring my son with me at that time. And those moms were entrepreneurs and they needed support. So that helped me be able to make new connections, to be able to work from home and become a virtual assistant. And the third thing I did, which was kind of outside of the box, is you know how there are like what are they called? Those business groups. Like there's offices that have different kinds of small businesses in them. I would go and I would go talk to the people there and let them know, like, hey, I know how to do this for you. I know how to do recruiting. I know how to do writing. How can I support you? And then I ended up meeting a lady who was, she owned a independent living services agency, and she needed someone to help her write her reports because it was something they had to do over and over and over again every month. And I had the skills to write. I just didn't know how to write reports in the way that they did. But she ended up training me, and she ended up being a long-term client. Like I've been working with her since 2015. Let's see. Let's stop here for a minute. Hello, Logan. Somebody's from Elk City. I'm not familiar with that. I'm in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta. All right. So that's how I started getting clients. And there were some other things I had to do coming up to, actually going out and marketing myself and speaking to people and starting with these clients. And the first thing I had to do is do a business structure. And I know everybody isn't thinking about starting a business, but if you want to become a person that works from home as a service provider, as a virtual assistant, or as a freelancer, you need to find some kind of business structure that you can start. And a lot of times people just do like a small LLC, or they do a sole proprietorship. I'm not trying to give you business advice as far as that. Legal advice, always just go do your research. Look at your Secretary of State to see what kind of business structure you can start. You can go seek legal counsel. You can even go speak to accountants to see what's going to make the most sense for you. But if you're somebody that's trying to really see if this is the kind of work from home life that you want to do, there's simple setups that you can do in order to be able to work from home. Let's see. Next, you have to think, what am I talking about? I'm talking about how you can start working from home. I've been working from home since 2015. I know there's a lot of people that have been laid off recently. There's people that have been tired of their jobs. They feel like they're not appreciated. They're not getting promoted the way that they should be. They feel like the work that they do isn't valued. So they're looking for other opportunities, but they're not really sure how to do it, or they're doing the same track of work and they're not really finding anything. So for this, I'm talking about how you could go and create opportunities for yourself outside of the typical career path by working from home. And then my story started with me being a virtual assistant because I no longer wanted to do the traditional office work. I wanted to be able to stay at home with my kids, but at the same time, I still wanted to work and not lose my skill set and still make money, even though I was going to be home with my kids. All right. So next, so after you set up your business structure, you're going to have to find out a way to collect your money. Um, some people might want to do Zelle, some people do Cash App, but if you want to be more professional with your work from home business, you're going to have to find something like a PayPal. I use something called FreshBooks as well in order to invoice my potential customers. Um, Dharma Jeet You're asking me in which company? Are you asking like what company am I working for? If you can just be more specific on what you mean by that, I can answer that question for you. Okay. The next thing that you want to do, and I kind of already mentioned this, is you want to learn how to be able to market yourself. Okay, so what company am I working for? So right now I'm working for a woman that has an independent living services agency. And a lot of what I'm doing for her is her operations and her HR and writing reports for her. But there's been different companies that I've worked with throughout the 10 years that I've been working from home. And the different ways that I've been able to find my clients is going to Facebook, going to networking events, social media, getting on here and doing videos like this. If you feel comfortable enough to be persistent about letting people know what services you provide, then that tends to bring clients to you, entrepreneurs, small business owners reaching out to you to ask you for your help with whatever service you provide. So that's part of the marketing. But once you end up, do you enjoy and who takes care of your household, how you manage it? Um, I do enjoy working from home. It's both me and my husband here, so it's a 50-50 thing. I am here mainly because I work from home. I'm able to do things like take the kids to their appointments. I'm able to go to their different events. If the kids call, say they're sick at school, I'm able to pick them up. And when we were young, when they were younger, I was able to keep them out of daycare, and we were able to save on daycare costs. So yeah, it's a partnership here between me and my husband. All right, so once you start marketing yourself and getting out there and people start coming to you and asking you to do work for them, you're going to have to think about the type of service provider you want to be, because you're no longer a typical employee where you can just kind of come in, get by, and do the small tasks for your employer. Now you want to think about, I want to provide a really good service for this person because I want them to continue working with me. I want them to give me good reviews so other people will start reaching out to me for my services. I want them to be able to refer me to other people, or if other projects come up, they will call me back. So you got to start thinking in a different mindset about how you work and how you provide services. Just like if you go somewhere and you pay somebody for a service, you're expecting good customer service so that you can give them those good reviews, or they're asking you for those good reviews so they can get more business. All right. So the next thing that I did in order to stay working from home for all these years is I did a lot of professional development. So YouTube University, going and just Googling things, because as you start working from home, you're going to come across things that you probably never come across before, and you don't want to be the type of service provider that is so needy to your clients, because you are the one that's coming in as a professional. So if something comes up that you're not familiar with, you want to be able to do the research to find the information so that you can be an asset to the client that you're working for, instead of somebody that is just making more work from them by asking questions all the time, not able to figure things out. Because that was the case, then why would they hire you? So I, right now, like how I'm trying to develop myself professionally is I'm learning about more about digital marketing, more about being able to market myself, more about AI, especially. Like I'm really digging into AI because I know this is the wave of the future. And with working from home, you always have to be on top of different trends and what your industry is doing, and being willing to develop yourself in that way. Lots of businesses, they pay departments to develop their employees. They put tons and tons of money into that, even millions of dollars into developing their employees. So now that I'm not with a traditional company, I think about every month or so, or every quarter, about how I'm going to develop myself and how I'm going to develop my skills. And because I know that there are other people out here who are looking to work from home, who want to grow their skill sets because they already are working from home, I created a resource in my bio that you can find here on YouTube that people can go to, and they can learn different skills about digital marketing. They can learn about AI. If you want to become an AI consultant, I have a resource there for you. It was a program that I went through, learning how you can use different AI tools, how you can speak to clients about AI and teach them how they can move forward in it. I also have something in there called AI Fueled Profits, and this is teaching you different AI tools so that if you want to kind of just be more hands off with your business, you don't really want to talk face to face with different clients, these are different ways you can use AI to generate income. So I think this was pretty much it. Oh no, I just want to break down 3 ways you can work from home too. I talked about how I started off as a virtual assistant. You can also be a virtual assistant. That's usually more like general work, general support work. That usually comes under the umbrella of virtual assistant. But I find that in order to make more income, if you become a service provider that focuses on a specific area and you market yourself for that specific skill set, then you tend to be able to get paid more money that way. And then the other thing you can do is just find different online residual income sources. So learning how to create assets like ebooks, if you can create PDFs that teach people things. A lot of people sell prompts. You can create online courses. These are all things that kind of fall under the digital marketing umbrella. These are ways that you can be able to make residual income and stay more hands off so that you can work from home. So that is all I have this evening. I didn't have like a planned out conversation. I just had a few things on this little note card here that I wanted to share with you. I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate all of you that have stopped by. If you are watching this replay, please be sure to leave any comments in it in the description, or excuse me, leave comments letting me know what questions you might have about working from home, virtual assisting, or becoming a service provider. And I'll be happy to answer those in the comments or even maybe make future videos about it. I hope you all have a good evening, and I'll see you in the next one.